We got a six-figure summon. The invoice came in the other day for VAR. It's above six figures, a good bit above six figures, and then you get these decisions that are, you're hoping that VAR's going to make the correct decision or help to make the correct decision. I think in that circumstances it would have been beneficial if Willie had been asked to go and look at the monitor and see if the on-pitch referee watches the technology and says, look, it's not a foul. You probably take it a wee bit more on the chin. Does that make sense? I think we've got to be careful that it's not people in a studio making the on-field decisions. It's got to be the referee. So in hindsight, a wee bit frustrated, a wee bit angry with the decision. I get it, it's opinions, and I know who's in the VAR room, and they're all good referees, and I know it comes down to opinions, but I would rather that the match day referee, the referee on the park, gets the opportunity to use the technology. And at that point, if Willie says, look, I don't think it's a foul, I think it's soft, it probably puts the debate to bed. Does that make sense? It probably kills any argument I've got, because I just take it in the chin and I move on. But by that not being allowed to happen, it probably leaves that wee bit of a grey area where I'm sitting here saying I wish the on-field referee was able to make that decision. I don't mean that in a bad way. When I first came into professional football, I think I was never off the emails. I think you're wasting, and I don't mean it wasting in terms of against the SFA, I don't mean that, but for me, I would rather spend my time and energy focusing on what I've got a bit of control, and I've no control over last night's decision. I've got no control over the process that led to last night's decision. So I'm not going to sit here and send emails and and I can tell you what it like. I know the people in the VAR, they generally, they're not cheating, they generally think it was a foul, so it's going to come back and they're going to say, well, this was it, and I totally understand it. I'm just disappointed that we never got the foul, because I personally think it's a foul, but then it maybe comes down to opinions at that point between me and the guys that are in the VAR office. I do think the referee should be the one making the on-field decision. He should be allowed, especially when it leads to a goal. I think that's a huge decision in the game. So I think Wally should have the opportunity to go over his cell and see if he thinks it's a foul. And if Wally at that point thinks, well, I agree with the guys back in the VAR studio, it's a foul, probably I've nowhere left to go, and probably it's a wee bit closure at that point. I take it in the chin and I move on. I'm not really interested in the whys, if I'm honest, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. I'll just try and focus on what I can control, and I can't control the decision last night. I hate these stats. Well, first and foremost, I absolutely hate these stats. So I think Stevie's in a wee bit of a transitional phase, but I've been in a transitional phase at Livingston for the last 7 years. Every year we're losing players and trying to re-implement players. I think it'll be a difficult game of football. Stevie and his players are going into this with a lot of optimism, as will we. So I think it's going to be a difficult game of football, and I'm not really looking too much at what they've done previously in terms of, is that going to have a direct impact on the result on Saturday? I don't think so. So again, I'll try and focus on my team, my players, and the processes leading up to the game. Probably more displeased, if I'm honest, in terms of the last two games. You're looking at Celtic. I don't think we're the favourites to take anything from the game, but when Celtic go down to 10 men, I thought we've got to do better as a group within the game. And then last night, to come off the back of a 4-0 again, I thought we were very, very, very naive in the closing stages of the game, which leads to a further 2 goals. So probably there's a wee bit of negativity in there, if I'm honest. There's things that we've got to do better, including myself, things that we've got to do better in the last 2 games. I think when Celtic go to 10 minutes, a missed opportunity. I think with the players that Rangers had missing last night, it was probably feels like a wee bit of a missed opportunity also. And then in terms of the scoreline, that was disappointing. Not much. I don't know, I kind of take every game one game at a time. I don't try and sugarcoat it. Does that make sense? If we came out the back of these 3 Old Firm games and the performances I felt were a little bit better in terms of probably the last 2 games, I probably could use that analogy or look back in that to sugarcoat it slightly. But again, I'm looking at Rangers last night with the players that were missing, missed opportunity. Celtic down to 10 men, missed opportunity. So I know it's the old firm, but I do think there was genuine opportunities within those games to do better in those games. And we've lost 7 goals the last 2 games, 2 of them against 10 men. So for that point of view, I've got to take a wee bit of ownership and responsibility for that, and I've got to rectify that. So I think we were a wee bit naive in both games, and we're defending as a unit, not just a defensive unit, but defending as a unit wasn't great.